And I call the honourable member for Blaxland.
To follow, Jason.
It is. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Well, about 230 years ago, there was a bloke called Ned Ludd. He was a bloke who smashed up some mechanical machines in a fit of passion, raging against the machine, and he inspired a movement called Luddites. No, it's not true, it's a national party. They were apparently called Luddites. And these were blokes who ran around the country in England, burning factories, smashing up machines, all at the start of the Industrial Revolution. And I was listening to this debate and thinking, hang on a second, this movement hasn't finished yet. We've got a new Ned Ludd, Tony Abbott. The Ned Ludd of Australian politics. The king of the Luddites. Remember, this is the bloke who said that the NBN was a $50 billion entertainment system. He's the guy who bought back the old Telstra copper network that John Howard sold last century. Well, he's also the guy who thinks it's a great idea to give a knighthood to Prince Philip, but he thinks it's a bad idea to teach kids how to code in primary school. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand how important this is, but also just how simple and basic this is. Technology destroys some jobs and it creates new jobs. It's been happening ever since Ned Ludd, ever since the Industrial Revolution. And the challenge for us here, right across the country, not just politicians but industry as well, is to make sure that our people, the Australian citizens, have got the skills that they need for these new jobs, for the jobs of the future. And what are these new jobs? Well, most of them require STEM skills: science, technology, engineering and mathematics. 75% of the jobs being created in Australia right now require STEM skills, and that will only increase in the years ahead. And the problem is, right now we're not producing enough people with those skills. That's why the Chief Scientist put out a report a few weeks ago saying that employers are having trouble finding people with STEM skills, with the STEM skills that they need for the jobs right now, let alone the future. And when you look at the number of people that are being produced through our universities with STEM skills now, you can see why this is a serious issue. Let me just give you a couple of statistics. In 2002, China produced 500,000 people with STEM degrees. This year they expect 3.5 million people to graduate with STEM degrees. Over the course of a bit over a decade, from 500,000 to 3.5 million people with STEM degrees. In Australia, in 2003, we graduated 9,000 people with ICT degrees. In 2013, that dropped to just over 3,000, from 9,000 to 3,000. You can see why this is a serious issue, and hopefully the opposition can now understand why what Bill Shorten announced in his budget reply is so important. And not only did Malcolm Turnbull and Joe Hockey say that it's important that all primary school students get taught to code when they're at primary school, but this is also—
Order. Member for Blaxland resume his seat. The member for Eden Minera on a point of order.
Eden Minera, yeah. So the Speaker is constantly not using proper titles. Could I ask you to refer the Speaker to his—
I thank the member for Eden Minera. The member for Blaxland will be reminded to use people's title when speaking in this place.
Well, I will. I'll just make the point. The Business Council of Australia thinks we need to do this. We think it's that important. We asked the Prime Minister in question time to do this, and we got this silly answer back from him that said, what? He wants primary school kids to be taught coding so they can get the jobs of the future. Does he want to send them all out to work at the age of 11? It just shows he doesn't get it. The Business Council of Australia thinks we should do this, and you've got Tony Abbott with a stupid answer like this. Well, my message to Tony Abbott, the Prime Minister of Australia, and all of the government is this. Remember what happened to Ned Ludd. Remember what happened to the Luddites. They lost. They ended up getting caught. I think 17 of them got hung. 7 of them got transported out to Australia. And when you get stupid answers, from a Prime Minister like this, it makes me think some of them must have got away. Some of them ended up here, and some of them, or at least one of them, made it into the office of the Prime Minister of Australia.
I thank the member for Blaxland, and I call